Back during Black Ops 4, I did a series where I went through and looked at the backstory of every single specialist character in that game. And every character in that game had their own cutscene, their own backstory, and you guys seem to really like it. Now, back before Modern Warfare was released, all the operators' stories actually got released before the game, and I made a video diving into all of the individual characters' backstories. But since the launch of the game, new operators have been added in, and what I thought I would do today is dive into all of the new characters' backstories and talk about how they actually relate to the overarching Modern Warfare universe that we know from Modern Warfare. Now, in Modern Warfare, there isn't as much information on these individual operators as there was for the specialist characters in Black Ops 4. There's no cutscenes or anything like that. So what I thought I would do today is just go over all of the new characters all in one video and discuss how their story relates to the Modern Warfare universe. This is the secret story of all the new operators so far in Modern Warfare. So I figure the best way to go through and look at all of these new operators is just to go season by season and look at all of the new characters that have been added into the game. And starting with Season 1, the first new character that we got was known as Mara. Now, Mara is based off the real-world person named Alex Zedra, and I must say, you can definitely see the similarities. Now, Mara is a part of the Warcom division, and this division is also known as the NSWC, or the United States Naval Special Warfare Command. And this is a division specialized in naval warfare and special operations. And as we see through this division, there are a lot of characters with a bunch of different nationalities all brought into the United States to create this Warcom division. This character we're talking about, Mara, her citizenship is to Venezuela and her first language is Spanish. As far as her background goes, she is a Venezuelan national turned CIA asset at the age of 15, which is very young, and we don't know why she was brought into the CIA at that young of an age. Now, she provided intel to the US to launch an in-country covert operation against Al-Qatala sleeper cells, volunteered for US SOF training, and conducted clandestine ops for the CIA until invited to Warcom in 2017, which is 2 years before the events of Modern Warfare 2019. Now, a couple interesting things is first of all, she's from Venezuela, but we don't know how she had so much information on Al-Qatala at the age of 15. That is something that is never explained, and I would love if there was more type of cutscenes to explain these type of things. But as of right now, this is all we know about Mara. Now, an even more mysterious character that came from Season 1 is known as Nickto, Nickto. I don't know how to say his name properly. I get it wrong every single time I say it, but it is this guy with a mysterious mask. Now, his citizenship is from Russia, but his first language is actually unknown. So it's actually not 100% clear whether this character was originally from Russia or came there later, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, he is part of the Allegiant Spetsnaz division, which is comprised of various Russian soldiers. Now, as far as his backstory goes, in my opinion, he has one of the strongest motivations for actually fighting in this war. He's a former FSB deep cover agent captured and tortured at the hands of Mr. Z, aka that is Imran Zakhaev from Call of Duty 4. We found that out in the Spec Ops campaign. His face was disfigured, and he was diagnosed with acute dissociative disorder. He remains a methodical, calculating soldier, and he was reassigned to the Spetsnaz to utilize his skill set. Now, I don't exactly know how you can be calculating and methodical with acute dissociative disorder, but essentially what that is it's a disorder that basically you can't chain together thoughts properly, and is often a symptom of PTSD, which was probably brought on by his face disfigurement and torture at the hands of Mr. Z. So obviously, he is mad at Mr. Z and wants his revenge. Moving on to Season 2, the first character we got during Season 2 is known as Ghost. Now, this is one that we've been over several times on the channel, so we won't dive too deep into in this video, but we'll go over his brief backstory. First of all, Ghost is from the United Kingdom, and his first language is English, and unlike many of the other operators, we actually know his real name is none other than Simon Riley. He is also a part of the SAS division, just like he was in Modern Warfare 2, and his background is as follows. An expert in clandestine tradecraft, sabotage, and infiltration. He lives with a redacted past and an undercover present, marked by a concealed appearance to hide his identity and maintain anonymity in the field. Now, this is essentially the exact same backstory as he had during Modern Warfare 2, and we know this because of his comment. Now, if you want to hear more about that backstory, I'm not going to dive into it in this video, but I do go over it in the full story of Ghost. If you want to check that out, I'll link it down in the description, or you can just search for it on my channel. So the second masked character that we have from Season 2 is known as Mace, and Mace actually has one of the more interesting backgrounds out of the characters that we've seen that we're going to dive a little bit deeper into. So first of all, you may not know this, but Mace is actually American. He's from the United States, and his first language is English, but his backstory kind of contradicts that. First of all, he is part of the Allegiance and Jackals division, which appears to be kind of a mix between African characters and also characters from the Middle East. It's kind of a mixed, and from everything that I have seen, the Jackals is not a real world faction whatsoever, but I could be wrong there, and if you know something that I don't, feel free to let me know down in the comments. Now, as far as his background goes, he's an ex-US Ranger turned gun for hire. They never explained what happened there, why he no longer works for the Rangers, but he's now a gun for hire. He joined the Jackals, cutting his teeth in the slums of Soweto. I don't know how to say that properly, but it is in South Africa. He's marked with traditional scars to honor his heritage and has earned a reputation for being a vicious operator. So he went to South Africa, joined the Jackals after leaving the Rangers. Why? We don't know. Now, I've got a lot of questions asking about the scars on his arms, and those are the traditional markings that they talked about in his background. Now, this is something you may recognize from the movie Black Panther. They had them all over Killmonger, and what this is known as is something called scarification. It's a traditional process known in several different African cultures, and essentially what it is they put a scar on someone and put clay or tree sap underneath the skin to leave these scale-like scars. Now, in several African cultures, it is known that every time someone kills someone, they get one of these scars. So just based off of the amount of scars Mace has, the dude's killed a lot of people. So the next character we have here was added at the very end of Season 2, and he is known as Talon. Now, Talon's background is that he is actually Canadian and he speaks English. Now, he is part of the Coalition Warcom division, and as we mentioned before, this is kind of like a coagulation of different countries all put into one, and that is the Warcom division. Now, his background is as follows. He was a part of the Canadian Special Forces and raised by a blended First Nations family in Ontario. And actually, that is where I'm from. And based off of what I know from living here, the two most common types of Aboriginals in Ontario, specifically in Ontario, are either Ojibwe or Cree. So based off of numbers, he would be a part of one of those two tribes. But the rest of his story is this. He was recommended to the Warcom division after serving with Griggs in Urzikstan. Now, if you don't remember, Griggs was in the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign. He was also in the Call of Duty 4 campaign. He was a soldier. He's actually a developer that works at Infinity Ward that plays him. And apparently, he earned his commendation in a daring midnight raid of an Alcatala encampment while working with Griggs. Now, I tried to look through all of the missions from various Modern Warfare games, including Modern Warfare 2019. I could not find this midnight raid mission whatsoever. So when this took place, we don't know, but now he is working for the Warcom division. So moving to the Season 3 characters, we actually have 3 of them, even though only one of them has been launched. The first of which came out with the Battle Pass in Season 3, and that is, of course, Alex. Now, we know Alex from the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, but his operator story in multiplayer is actually a little bit different. First of all, this is a character that I actually haven't made a video, which is the full story of Alex, but if that is something you'd like to see, all you got to do to show me is just hit the like button on this video, and that is definitely something I can cover in a future video, maybe even this weekend if this video gets enough likes. Now, as far as his multiplayer operator story, we find out that he is in fact a United States citizen, and his first language is English. Now, on top of this, he is now a part of the Coalition Warcom division. Now, how did this happen? Because in the campaign, he was part of the CIA Special Activities division. So how did he become a part of Warcom? Well, after the events of Modern Warfare 2019, he was charged with desertion after joining Farah to topple Barkov's regime in Urzikstan.
I'm going back to Urzikstan, staying with Farah's army.
What you're doing is illegal.
I'm pretty sure everything we do is illegal.
Only the good stuff.
After this, he somehow got into the Warcoms division. Now, his specialized training is specifically infiltrating enemy lines and surviving in inhospitable conditions. That is all of the information his background actually gives us. And of course, when I cover Alex in the full story of Alex, we'll dive a little bit more into that. So the next character we have is known as Ronan. He is not currently out in Modern Warfare, but he should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, probably in a bundle. Now, this character is interesting because he's actually based off someone from the real world. And I'm going to explain the two different people, and then you'll be able to see the difference. So first of all, the in-game character is named Ronan. His citizenship is American, and his first language is English. He is once again a part of the Warcom division, and his background is this. He is ex-Special Forces recruited by Warcom, known as the One-Man Army, a saboteur, a master of multiple fighting systems, proficient in unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, and special reconnaissance. So basically, the man is good at everything. Now, in real life, this person's name is Lam, and he is the founder of Ronan Tactics, a company that makes weapons and basically tactical gear that's used in the military. Now, his background is he is a former Green Beret who eventually retired and now owns this company. He looks identical to the character in Modern Warfare, and he looks like he could probably beat you up with his thumb alone. And then the final character that we have is named Iskra. I think I'm saying that right, but as of right now, we don't know anything about this character. All we know is that she is going to be added later in Season 3 and can be seen in several different calling cards and emblems throughout Modern Warfare. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of all of the new operators within Modern Warfare. As always, if you did enjoy the video, it is appreciated if you hit that like button. It'll also show me that you want to see similar videos like this one in the future as more operators come out. Also, if you're new to the channel, like what you see, want to stay up to date on everything, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you turn notifications on, and on top of that, as always, once this video goes live, I'll be live streaming over on Twitch. First link down in the description. Hopefully I see you there later tonight or anytime during the week. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.